Welcome once again, right? Now we have part three of the worksheet, right? Now we look at different scenarios. Like I've mentioned, we are just going to look at different scenarios, right? Because we cannot do things repeatedly to avoid time wastage, right? So now we look at a different question, which is question 10. We're still on finance. Mind, this is part three of the worksheet, right? And do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Right, I'll continue providing the plug as well as the ABC. You attach your backside on the chair, right? But now let's just dwell into the question. So what happens? We have question 10, right? We have question 10. So now the question 10 is as follows. They say Patrick opens a saving account on the 1st of January. Listen, he opens the account at the beginning. The 1st of January, it's at the beginning. It's at the what? It's at the beginning. Is that the beginning of a month or the beginning of? Is that the beginning of a month? Can I just do this? Is that the beginning? Yes, yeah, it's at the beginning of the month or a year, because that's the 1st of January, right? He makes an immediate payment. And I said, whenever you see immediately, you think of this thing. I want you to know that I don't want to confuse you. I said, whenever you see immediately, the moment you see immediately, okay. No, it's not writing. What's happening? Okay. Let me try to remove. The moment you see at the beginning or immediately, you just simply know this is an annuity Q. It's not an ordinary annuity. That means you add one on our end. But I want you to know on this scenario, we're not going to do that. I will explain why. I'll explain the case, right? Why are we not doing that? Now, in this case, we were given, let's say Patrick opens a saving account on the 1st of January 2012. He makes an immediate payment of 2,000. So on the 1st of January, he puts what? 2,000 into the account, and thereafter a monthly payment, and thereafter he makes the monthly payments of 1.2. So we know, and then after he makes monthly payment of 1,200 at the end of each month. The monthly payment, which is to our X, it's made at the end of what? It's made at the end of every every month. You see, I want you to know something on this case, on this scenario. They're saying, okay, Patrick opens an account and he puts 2,000 immediately. This 2,000 that has been put immediately is not our monthly installment. It's not our monthly payment. It's not our monthly. It's not our monthly payment. It's not our monthly installment. You see, therefore, it's not part of the annuity. Is not part of the what? This one is not part of the annuity. I'm saying this 2,000 rands is not part of the annuity. If this 2,000 is not part of the annuity, just because of it's made immediately, it doesn't mean you are going to add one. Because of it's not part of the annuity. What do I mean by that? When I first explained in the first lesson, we said annuity. Okay, let's explain. Let's define annuity. We said annuity is the regular payment. It is the regular payment into an account. It is the regular payment into what? Into account. Meaning, if when suppose I have my timeline, which is I have T1 here, I have T2, I have T3. So meaning if I put X and then I still continue to put X and I still continue to put X, it becomes my annuity. One, the amount remains constant. That's the first thing. There is consistency. And two, if we check this time slots, we said, okay, it may be in months or years. You see? So time slots between these remains to be the same. So because of here we are speaking about a regular payment into an account. So it's a regular payment or a regular deposit, right? It's a regular payment or a regular deposit into an account, right? That's annuity. And then we have two types of annuity. We said we have annuity due and ordinary annuity. So if 2000 is not part of the annuity, why am I saying here on the first of at the beginning of the year or the month they put two 2x. I want you to know 2x, it can be 2x or 3x, or but if you check this, the first payment is not the same as other payments that I made. So this one is not part of the annuity. You see, so the annuity will start here. Why? Because of this consistency. They do not change the amount, they remain fixed. You see, this way we have annuity. So the moment that 2000 is not part of the annuity, we don't add one. Why are we not adding one? We are saying because of X, it's our monthly payment. It is this X is our monthly payment, and then the X is paid what? It's paid at the end of. And then we know if X is paid every month, this 2000 is a once-off payment into the account. No, this 2000 rents it's a once-off payment into the account. It's a once-off deposit into the account, right? We do not maintain any consistency here. But looking at the 1.2, we pay it at the end of every month. Therefore, here we make it's a regular payment into an account. So this 1.2 we paid every month, which makes it to be a regular payment, and at the end of every month, which makes it to be an ordinary annuity. Meaning, do not get confused, meaning on our end, we do not do anything. We are not going to add one because of immediately. We were going to add one only if this 1.2 was at the beginning of the month. Why? Because of at the beginning of the month, it simply means it's annuity due. This is where only whenever we are speaking about annuity. And 1.2, it's a regular payment. It's a payment that is done continuously, right? But 2000 is a once off. We cannot say because of 2000 we cannot say because of this person Patrick put 2000 into an account, just a once off use, it's annuity due. No. 2000 is a once off payment. It's not a regular payment. We said it's a once-off deposit. So we said annuity is it's a regular payment. So which one is regular between 2000 and 1.2? 1.2 is the regular payment because of this consistency. And then if 1.2 is the regular payment, it simply means that we check on 1.2 whether it's made immediately at the beginning of the month or at the end. And 1.2 controls. So if 1.2 is the end, it's made at the end of the month, it's an ordinary annuity. If this 1.2 is meant, it's put at the beginning of the month. Therefore, what happens? It becomes a annuity. I hope you understand this, right? So now listen, now we don't add one because of it's a once off. The only payment that was made immediately, it was only 2000 once off payment. Only if that payment, a monthly payment was made at the beginning, we were going to say, okay, it's an annuity. You see? Now let's look, okay, enough with the theory behind this. Enough with the theory. We've been busy with the theory. We've been busy with the theory. Now let's apply. Let us apply. Right. Just going to apply what we just learned. You see. Now, okay. Now we know that we have our x, which is 1.2, right? And then at the end of let's reread the statement. They say Patrick opens a saving account on the 1st of January 2012. He makes an immediate payment of 2000 rands into an account. Thereafter, a monthly payment of 1.2 at the end of each month. You see, it's an annual. So the last payment is made on the 31st December 2018. So the payment was made at the beginning of 2012. I want you to know, look at my fingers. So the first payment was made at the beginning of 2012, right? Now we had the whole year. I'm speaking about the monthly payment. Let's leave the 2000 because it's a once-off thing, right? So the monthly payment, we are saying the monthly payment was made at at the end of January, at the end of each and every month of 2012. So we have a single month, a whole month, which is 2012, right? And we have the second month, the second whole, not month, we have the whole year, which is 2012, right? And then we have the second year, which is 2013. Why am I saying, where am I counting the whole 2013? Because of the last payment was made at, it was made on the 31st, and the 31st is the end of 2030. Now we are saying, okay, the first payment was made during at the end of January 2012. So we have a whole year of 2012, and the last one was made on the 31st of 2012, meaning the payments, it took 2 years to make these payments. So the number of years is 2 from 2012. When you calculate 2012, we had the whole 2012, and then we have a whole 2013. How many years do you have? 2 years. We have 2 years, so the number of years is 2. So now you know that we have what? 2 years. The payments were made for a period of 2 years. Now they say if an interest rate is calculated at 8% per year compounded monthly. So what's our I in this case? Our I will be 0.08, because of this compounded monthly, we divide by 12. And then what's my n? My n is the number of years multiplied by number of compoundings, which is 12. I'll have 24. Sorry, that's my answer. That's 24. Now the first question says, okay, the first question says calculate the Patrick's investment. So listen, the moment we were speaking about savings, they said Patrick opens a savings account. Savings is an example of a future fail. Now we are dealing with the future fail. You see? So what happens on a future value? You copy the formula, right? You know that the formula, okay, it's F V into X. Now things changes when we reach this thing. Now we minus 1 all over what? All over I, right? And then what happens now? Now we have been given X, which is the monthly payment. We have been given I, which is 0.08, and we know the payments were made for a period of 2 years, because of it's from the 1st of January. That's all, not from, we are speaking about the monthly payments now at the end of January up to the end of December. If you calculate 2012 to 2013, that's 2 years, right? The whole 2012 and the whole 2013, that's 2 years. So I have my N, I have my I have my X. I just substitute, you see. And then now in this case, I say my future value is equals to, so what happens? What's my X? My X is 1.2 into 1 plus my I, which is 0.08, divided by 12, right? To the power 24 minus 1 all over 0.08 to the power 12. Now what is my future value in this case? Now what's my future value? Okay, can I please consider this? Now what is my future value in this case, right? Let's look. Now I have 1.2. Okay, I have 1.2 into 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12, right? To the power 24. Okay, to the power 24 minus 1. You see, all over 0.08 divided by 12. Now what do I have now? Now the investment is as follows. Now I will have 31,119.8, okay, 83 rands. 0.83 cents. That's 31,119 rands, 0.83 cents, comma 83 cents, right? So this is the future value. Oh, listen, I want you to know that this, it is the future value based on the 1.2, on the 1,200 that's been put. Now we have calculated that 1,200 that has been put into the account. But mind, here it's a savings. Whenever we put something, it rises. Whenever we put something in the bank, what does it do? It rises. Remember, at first we've put, because of it's a savings, remember at first we've put that 2,000 to so and so. What happens to that 2,000? That 2,000 which has been put into the account, it's going to raise. It's going to do what? It's going to rise. Why? Because of here we are dealing with the savings. When it sits in the bank, it's an investment. It rises, right? Now we are not done with the question. We haven't yet done answering at 10.1.1 because here they want the entire investment. Here we calculate part of the investment which is being constituted, which is being considered, considering which here we are considering the monthly payment. But remember that the 2,000, what happened? There's still 2,000 in the bank, right? So we need to calculate the value that it has risen to, that it has risen to for a period of 2 years. So what do we do now? We know because of this that compounded, we use a compound interest, right? Now we use a compound interest. We're going to use a compound interest, and because of this, we're speaking of the savings. We'll use the one with the plus sign. What happens? We are determining the value of A. A is the value of the 2,000 in 2 years' time. So we know that that 2,000 is going to go up, it's going to increase because of it's been there, it's been inside the account. You see, so now my original amount we know is that 2,000, that 2,000 rands, right, into 1 plus the interest remains the same, that's 0.08 all over 12. Now what's my n? My n is 24. Now we are calculating the value that 2,000 has risen to because of its being there in the account. Now we are calculating the total investment, considering the annuity as well as the 2,000 that has been put there. I guess since we put that 2,000 is gonna rise, like, okay. Now let's do this. Okay, we have 2,000 into 1 plus. Forgive me with my again. So sometimes I have that mentality that I'm in class, and usually when I'm in class, I really teach people that in most cases, they speak the language that I speak, but sort of that. Now the 2,000 has risen into okay, to has risen to 2,345 rands point 7 8. Right, meaning the 2,000 that's been put has risen to this amount. Right, now we want the investment. The investment will be the sum of the two. The investment will be what? The investment will be the sum of the two. Right, which sums will be the sum of the two? The monthly installment as well as the 2,000 that we have been put, right? And remember that 2,000 have risen, right? So now we will say Patrick's investment. Now in this case, Patrick's investment is as follows: the sum of the two. I will add the value of the present value. We'll add the present value. So we'll add the present. What's happening? Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's bring it back. Okay, I wanted to do this one. So now we are calculating Patrick's investment. You know, Patrick's investment will be the sum of the two. We'll add, okay, the future value. We add the future value and add the with the reason 2,000. Right now it becomes okay. Now it's 235. Okay, 234.78. Now when you add the two, let's check what happens when you add the two. Okay, after 119. Okay, another one is missing. 10.8 there. Yeah, now the total investment of Patrick After 2 years time is 33465.61. Now I have rounded the answer to 2 decimal places. Note we are not adding 1 here because of the payment that was made at the beginning is not part of the annuity. It's not even a monthly payment or what. It's not part of the annuity. It's a once-off payment which is going to grow at a certain it's at a certain method and a certain percentage. Right? So now we are done with the first question. Okay, let's go back. We're done with 10.1. Wow, that's 5 marks. So now you have your own 5 marks, like an entire 5 marks. Okay, okay. Now an entire 5 mark question. That's just now we look at 10.1.2. Right, at 10.1.2, but they say Patrick decide it reads as follows. Patrick decide not to withdraw the money. Remember, we are speaking about this money now, this investment. They're saying Patrick, okay, decides not to withdraw the money on the 31st. He makes no further payments. Listen, he makes no further payments. And the investment ends at the same rate, meaning the rate does not change. The rate remains to be 8%. Right? Calculate the value of the investment on the 31st of May. 2040. Now listen, this is at the end of the year of 2030. We are no longer going to count from 2030, right? So Patrick decides to leave the money. Like I said, whenever you leave the money in a bank account, what does it do? It rises, right? It grows, right? So when it grows, in this case, we are saying that Patrick left the money. He didn't withdraw, right after making the last payment, which was on the or at the end of 2030, right? And then we'll say, okay, we need to calculate the value of the investment on the 31st of May. So now you calculate the month since here. So from December, right? So we are not going to count December because of it's on the 31st of December the last payment was made, right? So we want to know the value of the investment uh on the 31st of May 2014. So what do we do? Now we know now my original amount becomes the investment, the amount that he left in the bank, right? So this is my P. So my P now is 33465.61. This is my P now, right? And then what's my N now? My N, you calculate the number of months from you calculate the number of months. So we know May is the 5th month. So why are we not calculating December? We know the last payment is being made at the end of December. So at the end of December, you decide not to withdraw the money. So when you calculate the months, we have January, we have February, March, April, and May. So meaning your N is gonna be 5 in this case. Your N is gonna be what? 5. You see? And you do not multiply your N by anything. Your N in this case is 5. Right? But your I remains fixed. Your I remains okay, sorry, here this count. Your N is 5, right? And your I remains fixed. Your I is what? 0.08 divided by 12. You see, now the only thing that we're going to determine now is the value of the investment, right? So now we are determining the value of the investment now. We know the money is going to grow since it ends at the same rate. We know it's compounded monthly. So because of the word compounded, we use compound interest. You see, we have 1 plus, because of it's an investment, to the power n. Now A is our investment, that's the amount after. What is our P? Our P, as I've mentioned, our P is 33465.61, right? Into 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12, all to the power 5. Right, so what happens now? What is the value of the okay, we have 33465.61, okay, into 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12 to the power 5. So now what happens? Now we're saying the value of the investment has increased. Now we have 34 596 comma 10. Remember here it's money has to be in what? It has to be in rands. Do not forget to put it in rands. You see, now we are done with this question, right? Let's move Afundi. So now in this case, now we are at 10.2. Now we are at what? Now we are at 10 at 10.2. You see, this 10.2. Wait, let me highlight this question. This 10.2, I wanna mark this 10.2. You see this 10.2, this 10.2 and 10.3 and 11.3. I'm gonna do them. These are independent questions, right? Which are similar. You see, I'm gonna do them in the. I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna provide a specific lesson for both two questions. Right, I'm just gonna provide a specific lesson for those two. So the moment I'm going to complete these two, in addition with another question, which is question 12. You see. So now we look at 10.2.1, right? No. As I've said, now we look at question 11. So these two, they are of the same, of the same scenario, right? Which is the same as question 12. So these two, in addition to question 12, will have its own, independent video, which is the last video. I promise it to be the last video. So now let's look at question 11. Now let's look at question 11. So what happens at question 11? Can I please let me try to get a new page? I want to get a new page in this case, right? So I'm gonna get a new page. So what happens is that in this case we have question 11. We have question what? We have question 11. So what happens on question 11? Okay, they're saying okay, 11.1 reads as follows. 11.1 reads as follows. How many years will it take for an article to depreciate to half its value according to the reducing balance method? Now, the first thing that we know, it's because of what I've heard when I just read, that's according to reducing balance method. I know the formula for reducing balance method. Now I know the formula for reducing balance method. It's what? It's as follows. It's written as follows. That's the reducing balance method, or the diminishing method, right? Or compound depreciation. You see. So now what happens? We reread the statement again. They are saying how many years will it take for an article to depreciate to to have its value. So do we know the value of that article? Let's start. We know P is the original amount, which is the cost. Do we know the value of the article? No. Therefore, we make it X. Right? So they're saying how long will it take? The moment they say how long, we are looking for the end, right? They're saying how long will it take for an article to depreciate, meaning the article loses value in this case, right? It loses value to half its price. So when it loses value to half its price, it simply means our A, which is the value after it has lost, which means the value after it has depreciated, it's half its price, which means it will be 0.5 x, or it can be 1 over 2 multiplied by x. Because of it has depreciated to half its price, meaning the amount after will be half of the original amount. That's what I did there. You see? And then what's my I in this case? We're looking for an I. So my I is 17% per annum. So now now I know that My I is just 7%. They haven't given me this is per annum. My number of companies when they say per annum it's one. So the moment I say to the power one, it doesn't matter. The moment I divide by one has no effect. You see? So it remains to be 7% or 0.07, right? So I substitute. On my A, because of is the amount after it has depreciated to have its price. That's what the amount after it has depreciated is 0.5x, right? Because of its half its price. Its price is x. So on P, I'll put what x, right? And then in brackets, I have 1 minus what is my I have here. I have my n, right? So what do I do in this case? If you check, we have something. We are not looking for x in this case. X represents a certain amount. We have x on both sides. We have to eliminate the x. We divide both sides by x because here we're solving for n. You see, you cannot deal with two variables. The x will cancel out, be left with 0.5, which is equivalent to what is 1 minus, okay, 1 minus 0.07. 1 minus 0.7 is 0.07 is 0.93 to the power n. And in this case, I introduce a log function. So a log function states as follows that I bring n down to now I'll have the log base what? I'll have the base log base 0.93 log of 0.5 base 0.93. So what is my n in this case? What's my n, right? So my n is okay. The log of 0, the log of 0.5. Let me do this. The log of 0.5 base 0.9. Now I have the answer is 9.55 watt. Yes, since they said per annum yearly, you see my n is in years because of since they said yearly. Do you get me? Now let's look at 11 band. Now let's look at 11 band. Right? Hopefully, if we have hopefully if we have time, we can do and then those two questions. But I just don't want to record, just long lessons, right? Especially when we're teaching questions. So we'll only have long lessons whenever we are not teaching questions. But when we are dealing with questions, they don't really have to be that long. It's because we just apply whatever we learn. So now we have 11.2. Now we have 11.2. So what happens on 11.2? On 11.2, we have two friends. Each receives an amount of 6,000 to invest. So the moment you see invest, you know that the amount is gonna grow. So that's a two friends each receive 6,000 to invest for a period of 5 years. Therefore, they invest. Okay, they never said those amounts that they got are are monthly installments. Therefore, we won't speak about annuity. They are not monthly payments, monthly installment, or monthly deposits in this case. You see, so it's just any random money that they received once. So I'm not going to consider a future value or a present value because of there's no any monthly payment which has to be done here. You see, there's no consistency amongst the transactions. You see, so in this case, yeah, just so in this case, they're saying, okay, two friends each receive the amount of 6,000 rands to invest. Right? They invest. We know we're going to have a plus sign. They invest. Okay, they invest the money as follows. We have Radesh. Let's look at Radesh. That's the first step. Okay, Radesh has an interest rate of 8.5 per annum simple interest. So we know that, okay, let's record for Radesh in this case. We know that in this case, Radesh, I will be what? Will be, let's look at Radesh, I'm lost. Okay, will be 8.5%. Or 0,085 per annum. On what? Per annum on simple interest. What do I know? I know because of they are speaking about investing. I'll use the equation of a simple interest with that has a plus sign. That has a what? That has a plus sign. Why? Because of a plus sign in real life application has to do with an increase in something since the money is going to grow. You see? So that's my data on Radesh. That's what I know on Radesh. And I know that P on Radesh, because of they've been given 6,000 each, Radesh will have 6,000. That's what I have on Radesh. That's the only thing that I have, right? Right. And then the same Radesh is going to get 5% of the principal amount. Radesh at the end is going to get 5% of the principal amount. What is the principal amount? The principal amount is 6,000. So 5% of P is equivalent to 0.05. You can convert, you can do this. You can convert the percentages into what? You can convert the percentages to decimal, or you can just simply leave it. As long as on your calculator you will press the percentage sign, right? So we know that is going to get 5% of what? Of 6,000. So we'll say 0.05 and then we multiply by 6,000. 0.05 multiplied by 6,000 has to be 300. Okay. It's 300 in this case. 300 what? Rands. Right. That's the extra money that Radesh is going to get. Right. And then now we look at Tandy. Now let's look at Tandy. Here I'm gonna write Tandy. You see, on Tandy, what do they say about Tandy? They say Tandy. Okay, yes, she has an interest of 8% per annum. So Tandy's I will be 8% per annum compounded quarterly. So that's 0.08. Because of this, at quarterly we divide by 4, or you can just simply say 8% and you divide that 8% by 4. That's the same thing, you see. So that's what we know, and then we know in this case Tandy has what? Tandy has the principal amount of 6,000, right? And then we've been told about the end. Note, we've been told about the end. We were told that they invest for a period of 5 years, meaning Tandy's end will be 5 multiplied by number of compoundings, what? Which is 4. 5 times 4 has to be 20. Right, 5 times 4 is 20. Yes, I'm just verifying here. And then here, because of we don't deal with compoundings on the dash, and will remain to be 5. Now, here's the question. The question is as follows: who will get a bigger investment after 5 years? Justify your answer with calculations. So we want to know that between we want to know who will get. We want to know the person we want to know the person who will get a bigger investment between the two, between Radesh and Tandy. Meaning we have to calculate the investment of each person here for us to be able to compare at the end, so that we know the person with a larger investment, right? With a bigger investment, right? So let's start with Rajesh. With Rajesh, we don't know A because A is the amount after the money grows, after the money has grown. So, right, the only thing that we have here, we have 6. On Rajesh, we have P, which is our 6,000, that's our original amount. And then we have I, we have 1 plus, what's my I? What is my I? That's okay, my I is 0.085, right? Oh, I still have to multiply. I forgot that this thing is not compound here. Now I still have to multiply. Okay, let me do this. Okay, 0 comma, oh no, we have comma 85, right? Multiply by multiply by 5. You multiply by 5 in this case. So what is 6,000 into 1 plus 0 comma 0.085 multiplied by 5. Sorry. So okay. Now we have what? Now we have 8,550 rands, right? And then remember, on Radesh's investment, he's going to get an extra bonus. So we're gonna add this money with the 5%, right? So for Radesh's invest, so that's investment is equivalent to the sum of, okay, 8550 plus 300. What is it? Plus 300. So now the Radish's investment will be 8,850 rands, right? Now let's look at Tandy now. This is Radesh. Now we are done with Radesh, right? Now let's look at Tandy. At Tandy, we are going to use a compound interest, right? Why? Because of we have mentioned the number of what? The number of compoundings. You see. So we are looking for A, and then we know P 6,000 for both sides. We have 1 plus, what is our I? Our I in this case is 0.08 divided by 4. And then we have our N. Our N is 20 in this case. Now let's check, okay? Now we have 6,000. Now we have 6,000. But 6,000 into 1 plus 0.08 divided by 4 into 20. Okay. And in this case, I get what? In this case, I get what? In this case, I get 8. Okay. In this case, I get 8,915, comma 6,68. Right now, that's Tandy's money. Now, between Tandy's money and Radish's money, which one is bigger? Which one has a big investment? We can see that 8.9 is greater than 8.8. So therefore, Tandy has a what? Therefore, Tandy has a bigger investment. Therefore, Tandy has a bigger investment. You see? Therefore, he has a bigger investment. That's enough for the day, and then we will have the last lesson where we treat these questions. We are only left with at least 4 questions. Only these two that I have highlighted, and let me show you the remaining questions that we have to deal with. It's only these two that I've highlighted. We have, and question 9 here. This question 9, we have to do this question 9, and okay, and then we have to do this question 9 on the last lesson, and question 12 we are done, and this question 12. Therefore we are done with, therefore we are done with, therefore we are done with, therefore we are done with finance. You see, therefore they are done with finance. You see. um yeah. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and then you do ABC. Rewind as many times. If you feel like pausing, just simply pause to train yourself. You see, just simply pause, do your own calculation, and therefore verify. Since here we're just applying whatever we learned in the first lessons. You see, now on the last video, I believe it will only take the 30 minutes just to deal just to treat all of these questions. And note, this will be like the hardest question in finance. And to me, I don't think they're hard. That's the hardest level that they can ever be on the last lesson. But to me, it's a masterclass. The last lesson will be a masterclass. You see. Um, let me do this before. Uh, yeah, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sharp, sharp. Bye.